Trade makes the world go round. With it, mutual benefits and better understanding. Signing of RCEP, a regional trade deal of China, ASEAN, and a few other economies, nurtures hope from trade in a world challenged by selfish politics. Join me for a big day in the Chinese city of Nanning. Discovered the bedrock and building blocks of RCEP. Every day is like this for May. Running a cozy Thai restaurant in a quiet corner of Nanning. Locals like it. Hailing from Thailand, she now considers this Chinese city where she arrived 10 years ago her home. She still remembers like it was yesterday, the moment she made that decision.
I came to China 10 years ago. I majored in aviation management in Thailand because at that time I wanted to be a stewardess. Then I came to Nanning, and perhaps because the food here is so delicious, I gained some weight and couldn't be a stewardess anymore. So I changed my direction and studied Chinese here and went to graduate school. And then I opened this restaurant.
So from stewardesses to the chef, but the beautiful chef, obviously. So when did you open this restaurant?
In August for this year.
Oh, okay. So it's only a few months.
Yes.
How's business?
Yes, I think it's so good.
Very good this
yes.
year?
Yes.
Most of the restaurants actually suffered because of the pandemic.
Other restaurants may have been greatly affected by the pandemic, but ours is doing fine. It may be because our restaurant serves authentic Thai food. Now that many Chinese cannot go abroad for vacation during this pandemic, they come to our restaurant to get a taste of Thailand.
So it's a blessing in disguise in a way.
Yes.
Interesting. What do they enjoy most among all the dishes?
They enjoy my tom yum soup very much.
Tom yum gong.
They say it's the best in Nanning.
你怎么想到要开这样一个餐馆 Why did you open this restaurant?
It was not what I set out to do. I worked in a trade company with one of my Thai friends, who's also my restaurant partner. The company went belly up amid the pandemic. My friend, who tasted my home-cooked Thai food before, then said, "Your cooking is good. Why not open a Thai restaurant?"
她去哪儿了 Where is she now?
She married a local guy in Nanning and is now on her honeymoon.
She's a Thai girl?
Yes.
Ah, so she married a local.
Yeah.
Wow, really impressive. Maybe stay in China 1 year, it's fine. 2 years could be fun, but 10 years, your life totally has changed. Huh?
Here I have friends, and people here are very hospitable and helpful. I started to feel that Nanning has become my second home. Nanning does not feel like China to me anymore, but rather my home country. I have a close female friend. She majored in Thai, and I came here to learn Chinese, so we taught each other the language. At that time, I didn't live in a campus dormitory, and I would still ride on my back to her dormitory for getting a meal together and stuff. She was a very, very good friend of mine. One time we had a big fight, and I was angry and happy. Then we met again. We didn't say anything, but we both fell into tears and we hugged. I have known her for 10 years now. She is happily married with a very cute child.
就是那种很想的一个人，然后就是没有机会见。
Have you ever thought about really settling down in China?
如果找到就是
If I find the one, I might. But if not, I have already made up my mind to live here anyway. I might buy a small apartment which belongs to me.
我再争取的话，就是明年想把我妈妈接来这里跟我一起住。
Nice. So, did your parents come here and visit you in China?
对，他们有来过，就是
Yes, they visited me 2 years ago and I took them around. They even got on the high-speed railway here and they liked it very much. They say it's so fast and so interesting.
这个蛮快的，非常有意思。
When they went back home, did they talk about it to their friends?
他们有跟。
Yes, they've been to China before, but the city of Nanning is totally different from that time. China is developing so fast.
然后他们觉得，这里没想到就是中国发展的那么好。
I think also amazing development in Thailand this year, right?
Yes.
Because of the links that we have with one another. That feeling May mentioned seems to be neutral. If you stroll down here and talk to the locals of Nanning or tourists traveling from different parts of China that are visiting here at Fanta World Asian Legend, a gigantic theme park in Nanning, somewhat like a Chinese Disneyland of the best of ASEAN. In a pandemic-restricted travel time, many locals prefer to come over here and enjoy themselves. See who I met right here. And I met a group of students from one of those middle schools in Nanning. 告诉我你们是哪个学校的？
南宁市第31中学。
Oh, obviously that's a great school. So, how do you like this garden? 你们喜欢这儿吗？
绿色植物很多。这里的建筑好看，有些寺庙啊、塔都很好看。
是的，
都是东南亚国家的各类建筑。
那大家有没有想到以后有机会去 ASEAN countries， 就是去到东南亚东盟国家去玩儿？想去吗？想去举手。啊，你们跟我一样都想去旅游。
我去过越南，特别好，
越南
人民特别淳朴，
是吗？
特别好，风景特别美。
哦，是这样。
我也是挺想去柬埔寨，因为柬埔寨之前听说那里的山水都挺好的，空气也挺好的，
是吧？
我想去参观吴哥的水库，但是我忘记它是哪里的了。
哦，没关系，你会有机会的。What about for you？
我想去越南。
想去越南，为什么？
因为那里的风景很好。
I'm so happy to see you. This is my first trip to Nanning.
Wow.
Should I come back?
Yeah. Welcome to Nanning.
Welcome to Nanning.
谢谢大家，谢谢大家，拜拜，拜拜，再见，再见。Bidding goodbye to these local middle school students who are definitely curious about the world, especially those in their neighborhood, the ASEAN countries. I moved on to meet 2 local scholars who have been doing long-time research on ASEAN, and each has their favorite in mind. Yang and Yizhu, what a pleasure to see you here in Nanning.
Yes, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time, yes. I know both of you have a lot of stories. Personal stories, personal friends with people in ASEAN.
I came here for the first time in 2004, and that's the first time for the export too. So I was a translator for the Philippine delegation, but I can't get used to the accent. It frustrates me, and I couldn't help crying. But the leader just gave me a hug. Said, "Take it easy." You know the accent is. Take it easy. So I still remember that day. It's vivid in my mind.
So how about the accent now? Are you?
No problem, no problem.
So any accent coming from the accent?
Any accent from Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
This, one of the best experience of mine.
What about for you?
For me, actually, I joined in the Institute of Asia-Pacific Studies in 2000, and since then, my director encouraged me to do ASEAN study. Actually, at that time, when I write a paper, I need to give a footnote that says ASEAN, blah, 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 blah. But now everyone knows ASEAN.
So at that time, nobody knows ASEAN much in China. Now everybody knows.
Yeah, I read through all the documents and the declarations. And when I do my PhD dissertation, I go to Singapore, so NUS. When I just go there in 2004, I cannot, speak English. So I just listen. And Professor Zhang Wang always encouraged me. So you should do your contribution, speak, talk. And finally, when I leave, I made a presentation in English. Anyway.
Congratulations. I'm sure Professor Wang was very happy about that.
Yes, because I can really feel they love me from the bottom of my heart, especially Professor Zhang Wang. Treated me very well.
He passed away?
Yeah. He drive me to his club, town's club, and show me the Western life, how the people living there, they play golf, they drink.
I guess you miss him.
So, yeah. So.
It's such a wonderful occasion. I mean, every year, as you said, the Expo, it really creates a very different atmosphere between China and ASEAN, isn't it?
The Expo impressed me on, because at that time in 2004, there were not a large amount of people from Southeast Asia, right? But now, so many.
It's already quite some years, and even the China-ASEAN free trade area, already 10 years this year.
So for the bilateral free trade, we started from 2001. So it's already 20 years actually. We start to build it. The progress or the deepening of the interdependence between China and ASEAN countries, make such a big progress that out of any imagination of our. Yes.
Tell me why. Why you say that?
Because in 2001, our bilateral trade is only $10 billion. You know how much it's? The big number, $700 billion, more than that. So it's really a big progress. I think that not only researchers, decision makers, everyone of the world, no one really foresee that our bilateral relations can deepen so quick, and no one can imagine that ASEAN can be our first #1 trading partner.
Yes, indeed.
It definitely should be U.S. or Japan or EU. But now, this year, it's ASEAN.
In 2012, it is ASEAN who invited China, Japan, South Korea, Australia, New Zealand, and India to join into the negotiations, like as a dialogue partners.
Since 2001, China-ASEAN FTA, then they do 5 FTAs, ASEAN, Japan, ASEAN, Korea, ASEAN, Australia, New Zealand. Australia, New Zealand is 1, and ASEAN, India. With this 10+1s, ASEAN becomes the center. So they realize that they can be the center. When 10+3, 10+6 have different perspective, and they persuade other countries, maybe we can do something without a 10. So that's why regional, not 10+, regional, economic cooperation thing. I still remember Minister of Foreign Affairs Fu Ying made announcement that China is happy to join RCEP negotiation and support the centrality of ASEAN. I think ASEAN countries really take it.
Think about it, how exciting it is. I mean, 1/3 of the global population, right? 1/3 of the global trade reflected in the RCEP, and this is at this most difficult year. What was it like for you? I mean, you've been doing research about the possibility of it for a long time. You've been having friends who talk about it with you for a long time. What was it like for you?
I could enjoy the whole region from the product and the service, and then also my friends in the ASEAN countries, right? For me, the RCEP makes the whole regions make sense.
When the agreement was signed, one of my students sent me a WeChat message. She asked me, are you happy? Excited? After 8 years, this agreement was signed for our region, because this is a promise. Our regional countries, the leaders, the people decide to work together to cooperate for a bright future.
Hope and potential.
Yes. Some people, Chinese people, we want to make it as the Chinese one. No, this is not China one, it's a regional one, and China is only one of them. That's the first point I made. The second one, we should think about that. This region are far from, united, integrated. We just starting to, walk toward that direction. It's different, much higher level than the agreement we already signed, China-ASEAN and others, even WTO. So it will, bring us, more united Asia-Pacific region. This, I think, although it needs time, the future is bright.
That's an interesting point, because now a lot of people are comparing RCEP to CPTPP and saying, which is the higher standards? What should be the potential rule?
China don't want to compete with this or that, framework. For us, we just want to, push forward the regional integration. So recently, I think Presidency already announced that we are thinking about to join CPTPP. That means we don't want to compete with it. We want to work with it. We want to link these two frameworks.
When we talk about RCEP or CPTPP, maybe we mean the society of human beings in this region. Well, I came to Vienna in 2014. That's a special year, right? Because of the demonstration against Chinese. At that time, I actually quite worried about my safety and life there. But it turned out worry is unnecessary. And they are friendly to me. And we have the historical connection in the past. And not mention we're getting more and more close because of the globalization. So
really people to people.
Yes, people to people. Because I have friends there. And we have the the true feelings with each other, not for you are Vietnamese, I am Chinese. We don't care about that. So that's the base for how to push the relations between China and ASEAN, I think.
It must be very exciting to work in this city and to be able to interact with your ASEAN friends even during this difficult year.
I asked my friends from Thai. He agreed with me as potential, not currently, because our people should realize that the permission from different countries of the agreement need time, and the future will be a bright one.
The same.
The same.
The same with
potential.
Yes, potential is very important. Now, when we focus on benefit right now, it maybe mislead us. Yeah. Potential means the bright future, because we can get something impossible in the future. Spiritual connection is the base. And now we can enjoy each other, something like films, right? Music, songs. And a lot of Chinese songs, they have the Vietnamese version, Thai version. So it means we have the base. We already have the base. And the next problem is how to use it.
Recently, I just finished a paper about the hedging strategy of ASEAN countries towards China and the United States. For the result I found is, for Chinese people, we should change our mentality towards ASEAN, towards our bilateral relationship. We need patience, because they want to keep the middle position, and they
between China and the
between China and the United States. So all what I done, successfully for the past may not, suitable for the future, because they are thinking about ASEAN-US relationship. When they cannot, deepen the ASEAN-US relationship, they don't want to deepen our bilateral relationship so quick. So give them time. At the same time, don't always complain that we lack of mutual trust. We need to link our people, really do people-to-people connectivity, to let ASEAN people know our China intention. For the South China Sea issue, I think we should let our people really understand. We have territorial disputes with ASEAN countries just because we are neighbors. We're living together 1,000 years ago. So we should solve it peacefully, and the most important thing is to promote the mutual understanding of our people to people. So President Xi said that people-to-people connectivity, people-to-people bond is really, really important. But the most important thing is how to really link our people.
Fascinating. And you are a great example of that link.
We are doing that.
I would love to continue our conversation for future opportunities.
Before we leave, can I sing a song for my friends in Vietnam?
Sure.
I miss them very much.
Sure. Of course.
Người ơi, người ở đừng về. Người ơi, người ở đừng về.
Hope and potential are the words I heard so often this time during my trip to Nanning, not only well known for being China's green city, but also the host city of China-ASEAN Expo. Despite challenges from the local pandemic and trade protectionism, China and ASEAN countries have managed to achieve quite a miracle. They have become each other's largest trading partner this year. They have also signed, together with Japan, South Korea, New Zealand, and Australia, the RCEP, or Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. For many here, it is only natural because China and the ASEAN economies have forged very strong trade ties with the support of China-ASEAN Expo beginning from 2004. And the tent right behind me is where it is being held every year. The Expo is where you will find everything from food and drinks to medicine, from agricultural products to high-tech gadgets. But if you want to know how it all started and what's ahead, you will have to check out this annual conference that goes side by side with the Expo, the China-ASEAN Business and Investment Summit. I interviewed there, ranging from chief negotiators of China and ASEAN countries to establish the China-ASEAN Free Trade Area, which is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year.
Congratulations to my colleagues. We joined hands to set up this FTA. Now finally, we see the success of this FTA. So it's time for us to celebrate. And I want to say thank you and express my gratitude to you for your contribution to the China-ASEAN FTA.
To reps from high-tech and banking sectors ready to tap into the huge potential between China and ASEAN.
I think the digital economy will play a more important role in pushing for the transformation and advances in society.
After all these conversations for brainstorming, agenda setting, and morale boost, I try to dig deeper into the potential, a word that I have heard so often during the trip. Going high-tech is a must. While China's value-added digital economy was worth about 39 trillion yuan in 2019, accounting for almost 26%, accounting for almost 36% of the country's GDP. ASEAN's digital economy is also growing fast, from 1.3% of the GDP in 2015, likely to reach 8.5% in 2025. Thanks in no small part to China, lending a big hand with the digital infrastructure and is an important partner of ASEAN to promote the digital economy in the region. So much so that the year 2020 is even designated as the China-ASEAN Year for Digital Economy Cooperation. Li Ying from the China-ASEAN Information Harbor, a Guangxi-based infotech company, told me they have a huge blueprint for this and a mission to carry it out too.
Okay, first of all, welcome to China-ASEAN Information Harbor Company Limited.
I think it's the first time for you to visit our company.
Yes, indeed. I'm looking forward to what you can present to us.
Yeah, it's the person for me to show you, first of all, our business layout in the ASEAN countries. From this platform, you can see that we have established business links with quite a few of ASEAN countries, especially in Malaysia, Indonesia.
So Malaysia, Indonesia.
Yeah. Indonesia and Malaysia. You can see that they are big and they still have the population bonus and they are fully open to the market competition. And then that's why we just pay a lot of attention on these special big countries in ASEAN countries.
Okay. So it's actually different countries, different ways of doing business.
Yeah, that's true. And there are 10 member countries in the ASEAN member countries, and each of them are quite different in terms of their economic development standard and also the religion and the everything. You know, almost everything are different. Something similar, but we adopt a policy called one country, one plan. So we fully respect their needs and their wants.
I like that. One country, one plan.
Yeah, yeah. And I would like to show you some of our example projects in the ASEAN countries. And first of all, there's the Easy Connect platform. We call it e-linking app. And you can show that this app was officially launched early this year. And from March to May of this year, the revenue of this app just rocked like 2 times. I think it's mainly because of the pandemic. Everybody should stay at home. They should have to enjoy online services.
Yes, so the number is growing so fast.
Yes,
right?
and the momentum keep going.
I see.
Okay.
So see, it's all changing.
That's the real time.
Wow.
Okay, so that means that China and the ASEAN countries are quite connected to each other.
So it seems that this is a rush hour for shopping.
Yeah, this is the peak hour of the day. Okay, you can see that.
I see, and it seems doing very well.
Yeah.
How many people are actually doing this border trade?
Actually, border trade is a very special kind of a special category of trading, import and export trading. That's the national policy to cover the cities and the residents living along the border.
I see.
So that's not a popular, not a general trading fund. You can see that there's the number of registered border residents has got 164,000.
So this is how many people are doing border trade from China, from Guangxi?
Yes. They are allowed to do. Okay. In Guangxi alone. And in other provinces, they have their own number.
Ian, welcome to CGTN.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you for showing me around. I learned a lot.
It's my pleasure to show you our business layout.
Yeah. So tell me more about, what kinds of potential are you seeing in the region after showcasing so many examples?
Actually, I studied my ASEAN strategic and ASEAN plan 2.5 years ago. And at that time, we are really in just in a flock. We don't know where to go. Even though I have known something about the ASEAN countries, we still don't know how to do the digital economy with them. And after these 2.5 years, we think that we find the right direction.
What is the right direction?
For China, we have the best internet application solutions in the world. And nowadays, the ASEAN markets has a huge market and huge need for the digital economy. Each of these countries have established their plan for develop digital economy, and also China and ASEAN countries has put a lot of emphasis on the cooperation in this regard. And for example, President Xi Jinping just said we are going to join great efforts to co-build our digital Silk Road. So this is our theme and this is our direction. And to see more in this direction, I see opportunities and challenges. For opportunities that, first of all, I would like to mention about the pandemic. It might be a surprise for you. Because of the unexpected pandemic, we gained unexpected opportunity to develop our business. Interesting, right? For example, our e-linking app has gained a momentum during the pandemic. People have to stay at home. They have their homestay order, so they cannot go out.
and they cannot go to the real shops, so they have to do the online shopping, and they get used to it. Okay, and then also for the government part and the business part, 2G and 2B solutions, they have a strong momentum to make a fast change, fast transformation from the traditional industry to a digitalized industrial management. So that gives us a great opportunity.
But how sustainable will this exacerbated growth, in the digital economy, particularly in terms of your cooperation with the ASEAN countries? Now, it's the pandemic, it's understandable, but, what about the future?
Yeah, actually, pandemic is just unexpected challenge, unexpected opportunity. But the momentum keep going. Even before the pandemic, China and ASEAN countries have seen the great potential of each other's cooperation in the field of digital economy. Actually, many Chinese companies have set foot, has tapped in the ASEAN countries. Okay, and then by financing or by stock sharing, they build joint ventures, and they do a lot of projects, even in integrating software and hardware. We see a lot of our Chinese partners in these ASEAN countries. So that's not a start for the pandemic. Pandemic just give a momentum, give a driving force. And one very important reason for the development of the bilateral digital economy cooperation is that, first of all, China has the best solution for the internet application alone in the world. And the ASEAN market is now facing a transformation, a strong transformation need to make a digitalization transformation move to their traditional industries.
How big is this potential, if you think about it?
Within the RCEP agreement, and also in the speech delivered by President Xi Jinping on the opening conference for the 17th China-ASEAN Expo, everybody mentioned about the digital economy of cooperation. So the market is huge. The market is ready for there.
If you think about it, China and the ASEAN countries, even as part of the RCEP, RCEP, more than 30% of the global population, yes, right? More than 30% of global trade, that's also likely to go upswing as we speak.
Yes, that's true.
So how much prepared, companies like yours need to be in order to still be competitive in this market? I'm sure there are already others that are looking at this market and say, why don't we jump in? Probably they have already jumped in.
I think, first of all, we need to study more about the ASEAN countries. Yes, we need to respect, and we need to know each other better. That's the priority. You know the needs and wants of the client's country, you can do better.
Ian, what a pleasure. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure too. Welcome again. Thank you.
But the real potential is not just about digital economy, but also financial connection between China and the ASEAN countries. They, having been in close ties after withstanding together the enormous storms of the Asian financial crisis in the 1990s and the global financial crisis 10 years later. This is a 20-yuan note in circulation in China. Well, not necessarily the newest one, but it's okay. On its reverse side, though, is a view of a fisherman on his bamboo raft floating down the Li River through the spectacular karst mountains of Guilin. It's just a few hours' drive from where I stand. Even though most Chinese these days prefer to use digital payment without paper cash, many of the locals here are still very proud of this banknote. And what they are prouder of now is how it will become the real incubator of the RMB's internationalization through robust market interactions with ASEAN countries. I'm sitting here in the ASEAN Business Center of the Bank of China. I'm trying to find out the mystery behind the banknote of 20 yuan RMB. Look at this beautiful scenery. It is in Lijiang, not far from here, exactly in Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region. Now I'm tracing back the image of this banknote. But talking about money, I have Jenny sitting right here in front of me, who knows much more about that than I do. Jenny, how are you?
Oh, fine.
Thank you for taking your time.
Thank you. Thank you for coming too.
So what about the RCEP? Is it good news for you?
Yes, sure. Only to the RCEP, for the gradual implementation of this, we can benefit from the liberalizations and facilitations in the intra-regional trade and investment. And we will enjoy the greater customer size, and also we can have better business opportunities.
Earlier, because of more advanced the banking system is in Europe and in the US, so China works with them a lot. But now, do you think as a result of RCEP and as a result of current realities involving the pandemic, the backyard of China will change? Will that be the ASEAN countries and the Asia-Pacific region?
I think we have taken this opportunity to further our steps to these countries, like our head office, just our Bank of China Hong Kong, where in 2016 we have started to focus on the Asian countries' business, so that in that year we have acquired 6 countries' branches and subsidiaries from our mother bank. And then for the past few years, we have some business development for these 6 countries. And I think we will have further development with the customers, and also we will implement our more intelligent services and some professional services to serve better for the customer in that region.
So how do you think, for example, Malaysia, you travel to, has been changing over the years?
Well, I think the change is, we can see it, and it's really a good countries for the development. In fact, for 6 countries, Malaysia is one of the major business that we have. So I think for the rate for the economy restore, I think Malaysia it will bring more benefits and business growth for our banks too.
If you think about it, Jenny, it seems that China and ASEAN countries have been together, ups and downs over the past few decades. For example, Asian financial crisis in the 1990s, and then 10 years later, there's the international financial crisis. And now we are almost 12 years after that, and we are experiencing another pandemic, COVID-19, which also have a dampening effect on the economy and financial sectors as well. So how do you see, the evolving situation of the ASEAN countries and the evolving levels of trust between China and ASEAN countries when it comes to financial sector?
Well, we will find that we have closer relations because like RCEP and other CEP, other policy, that we enjoy we have a better cooperations with ASEAN countries, and we can enjoy better bilateral trade and also some better investment opportunities. And I think those Asian countries are quite urged for the renminbi requirement too. There's some demand for that because renminbi becomes very strong in recent years. We are becomes the 4th trading currency in the world now, and we can see the trend nearly.
Is it mainly currency swap between governments, or actually there are huge interests also coming from the private sector or individuals for RMB?
I think both sides has, but we will find that in the private sector becomes more and more, the growth is more and more.
Why do you think people are interested?
Well, because it's very convenience for people, because now you see many products are made in China, and when they want to buy product in China, in the past, maybe they need to make the exchange, and somehow you make the exchange, you may have some loss. But now you can make renminbi and make the direct payments, so you can enjoy the benefit for this. So for the private sector, it's become more and more popular to use renminbi.
And also the global supply chain has been changing. So China and the ASEAN countries are pretty much complementary. More and more, some suggest, in terms of their roles in the global supply chain. So this convenience of using RMB probably will increase as a result?
Yes, sure. The economies of China and ASEAN are highly complementary, and it has a very close relationship together. Well, this year we have a historic breakthrough as we are each other's biggest trade partner. So I think the development of China and ASEAN countries will have closer in the near future. So we surely will benefit from this situation, and also I think the banking service also a great demand from Asian countries too.
So are you saying the Li River will be found in all other countries?
Oh, we hope so, surely. Yeah. Wait, this is the dashboard I told you about. Let me show you how it works.
Okay.
Now you can see the geographic picture that we have Nanning, Hong Kong.
At the very top?
Yes, this is our operation center. And also we have some Asian countries like Malaysia, Brunei, Indonesia, Vietnam, Malaysia, Cambodia, Thailand. We so as have collection of our operation with them. And also here there's some business volume that you can see. We have a real-time update so that our management can have an overview for the operation. And also, you see
now it's updated.
It's updated, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's amazing.
Yeah. So we also have some
more business is coming.
Yeah, and also we have some problem fixing issue here. So we will have to take a look into the problem and we can solve it immediately.
So this is how your actually ASEAN Business Operation Center works.
Yes, and we have an overview for the including Hong Kong and our Asian countries in our operation center.
Sitting in the office, you could see anywhere and how things are right at the same time.
Yes, and also our management in Hong Kong can also see this picture too.
Great.
Yeah.
Trade makes the world go round. With it, mutual benefits and better understanding. Signing of RCEP, a regional trade deal of China, ASEAN, and a few other economies, nurtures hope from trade in a world challenged by selfish politics. Join me for a big day in the Chinese city of Nanning. Discover the bedrock and building blocks of RCEP. It's been a fruitful day for me in Nanning, and it's only a small glimpse of the huge dynamics taking place between China and ASEAN. With potential, people see hope, and that will be translating to energy into this city and many other places in the region. I'm Tian Wei.